So welcome back. We have an expert on the line who's going to give us some information about the transfer market, and we have a pretty cool question as well. We've got Tancredi Palmeri who's going to break down whether Mourinho or Conte would win in a fight. So first up, we're going to get to transfer news. Is Emre Can going to be a Juve player before the end of January?
Before the end of January, hardly so, extremely hardly so.
Okay.
By June 1st or by whenever Germany will be out of the World Cup, extremely likely, because everything is agreed between Juventus and the player. 5 million euros per year is what Juventus will pay Emre Can, which is a pretty high salary.
But do you think he's worth that? I'm not totally convinced, because I do like Can. I think he's a solid player at Liverpool. But is he worth all the hype? Is he worth so much money? I'm not convinced.
Let's see. If you sign Emre Can, you assign possibly a solid holding midfielder that could stay in the starting 11 for the next at least 5 years, let's say. Considering he's coming for free, it is understandable that Juventus are paying him a bit more than they would have paid normally his salary. So in the end, if we look at Emre Can getting 5 million euros, yeah, it seems too much. But if you get Emre Can for free, and in all, that is what it's costing. It's costing what? 1.5 million, maybe more than you would pay him a salary. But all in all, that's what will be in the end. Some 10 million euros. Nowadays, you pay 10 million euros just to buy the kit of the team. So in the end, I think it's a good business.
Well, Tancredi, speaking of keepers, actually, it's funny you mention that, because I wanted to ask you something. So Donnarumma, obviously, he's one of the hottest young prospects in football. But for some reason, maybe you can tell me why is nobody trying to buy him? I mean, Arsenal have got an aging goalkeeper. Liverpool need a goalkeeper that's, top level. Manchester United, if they lose De Gea, will need a goalkeeper. But why is there no attempt to buy Donnarumma? What's the deal?
Donnarumma seems the sister of Valderrama, the way you say it. It's Donnarumma. Donnarumma actually, Mino Raiola, his agent, the agent of Pogba, of Ibrahimovic, and many others, is never quiet. He's just never quiet. And especially can be quiet when a player like that, 18 years old, at Milan, who, they had money, but their future is not that bright. So I'm pretty sure that something will happen, because Milan will need money, and because many things will happen this summer. Now, obviously, a lot depends on the ability of Manchester United to keep De Gea. But in fairness, also, I would say, Real Madrid is gonna sign Kepa, athletic goalkeeper, for 20 million euros. And still they say that will be only the backup option for Keylor Navas. Keylor Navas is not the goalkeeper for the future. Raiola got, how can I say, a very solid contacts about Donnarumma with Real Madrid and with Paris Saint-Germain. And the goalkeeper has always been an issue with Paris Saint-Germain, or at least has been the only possibly position where they didn't have a really world-class player.
Like a superstar, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. They didn't have any Thiago Silva, Dani Alves, any Verratti, or any forward of the many they had and they have. So I wouldn't rule out, to be honest, Donnarumma to move this summer. Actually, if I would have to bet £1 or €1 or whatever, I would put this summer more on him moving than him staying.
So then on top of that, the news today has basically been Alexis Sanchez, whether he's going to Man City or he's going to Man U. Where do you think he's going to end up?
The maneuver from Manchester United, the disturbing maneuver, is very interesting. And I'm pretty sure that has been pushed behind by Jose Mourinho, that is losing on every front with Manchester City, and possibly is saying, look, in Champions League we are still starting from the same point, so why not to take Alexis Sanchez for the Premier League? But in fairness, to be honest, Guardiola used to be a great admirer of Alexis Sanchez since he was already at Barcelona. the contacts has been developed since last summer, and the salary they are paying to Alexis Sanchez is so huge. It could be even a maneuver from Manchester United, maybe not to get Alexis, but at least to delay City to get Alexis in June, and not in January.
But do you think could this just be a ploy? Is this was Mourinho taking something off City, or do you think he actually wants him?
No. I believe it's totally taking him off.
Just to take him off Guardiola. He's already too far behind. He doesn't want to get any further behind, and he's just trying to take them getting an extra weapon, basically.
So
I mean,
on top of that,
in such a level.
Go ahead.
No problem. Well, I mean, in such a level contention, obviously, if you lose something, it's exactly your direct competitor that take it.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's my thought exactly. I've got to agree with you there. I think Mourinho's just trying to steal an extra weapon off Pep. He's already terrified. He's already got his back against the ropes, and he doesn't want to get another kick in.
So then, on top of that, for the Arsenal fans, do you think that? Can you explain to them whether it's Sanchez's choice where he's going, or it's going to be Wenger and the board who choose where he goes?
No, it's absolutely Alexis' choice. I mean, at this point, he had been waiting for so long. He was pushing last summer already for going, and last summer was only the last stage, because already he was carrying some months ahead, being unhappy. So at this point, he have waited so long, 6 months more, 6 months less. Obviously, it's his choice. But to be honest, I mean, everything can happen in transfers, everything. But still, my take is that Fernando Felicevic, the Alexis Sanchez agent, is very smart and getting always very good deal. So he might use also these Manchester United offer. But to be honest, the offer, the salary offer to Alexis Sanchez is extremely generous. All in all, the final digits, the final numbers, the final figures for Alexis Sanchez should be 22.5 million euros per season, which would make him the third highest paid in the world. To be honest, he knows that he can't get such a good deal possibly from Manchester United. So it's just foreplay, but I don't really see how this deal with Manchester City cannot happen. Manchester United should do such a huge offer to Alexis Sanchez that might break then the balance, the salary balance at the house. So I think it's just Mourinho trying to scary a bit the things around.
So then, talking of Mourinho, our key question today is who would win in a fight between Mourinho and Conte? Because you know Conte. Where would your money go, basically?
Well, if we represent them as two villains fighting, two villains fighting Die Hard, so where they are going just until the end of punching and grabbing and choking, possibly if we are on the verge of a building or a skyscraper, falling on that, maybe if Mourinho grabs Conte's hair, as he got the same problem as me, would be probably Mourinho falling because the Conte's hair would just not to be enough strong to hold him. No, jokes aside, Fabio Capello yesterday was asked about that, and commenting that said possibly Conte didn't realize who is dealing with, because Conte entered a land that is completely Jose Mourinho's land. And all in all, it's even a weird fight, to be honest. I've witnessed all the Mourinho's fight, since Portuguese League, then in Premier, then in Italy, Spain, and then back to Premier. And there was always a reason. He wasn't a rebel without a cause. There was always a cause for his rebellion. Some title to fight for, some huge case history about some referee.
Yeah, or a transfer or a deal he wants to make with another player. He's usually, but I have to agree with you here. I think
This time there is nothing.
It's just two guys fighting over scraps because Pep's already won the only real fight that matters, which is obviously going to be the Premier League title. And it's embarrassing, I think. They're just scrapping amongst each other, and it's really weird to see Mourinho crack this much.
You know, I think, to be honest, I think that Conte is not in use to be in such a fights, because when he was in Italy, even if he was challenged in this way, still he was leading a team that was so much ahead of the others that in the end every dialectical fight seemed pointless, because it seemed just, I don't know, cats barking at dog. It really didn't make any sense. When I saw Conte at Chelsea-Roma presser just after the game, there was some sentence from Mourinho that wasn't clear if it was referred to him or not, and it was reported to Conte, and Conte felt like did start to answer, but then he was stopped by the Chelsea press officer saying
before he made a fool of himself.
Well, it was saying we don't know if this sentence is about that or not. To be honest, it had sense why the Chelsea press officer stopped him, because he said let's just comment what we have seen, not we have been reported, because we might reply about something we aren't sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, getting dragged into a silly Mourinho argument is just daft.
Not even knowing if it was actually an argument, because it was only reported. But when I saw Conte, when I saw his body language, it seemed to behave like someone that, okay, that's it. That's the thing for which I've been preparing for so long. I knew it was going to happen. And so, you know, it seemed like not natural, not genuine. And also from Mourinho, seemed like not natural, not genuine. Seemed like everybody was expecting this fight to happen. And finally, after so long, they are just doing just because people expect them to do it. Yeah, maybe Conte was unnecessary when he asked the Chelsea fans to push and celebrate for the team when they were winning 4-0 against Manchester United. But maybe Mourinho too was unnecessary when he took him close and say you shouldn't celebrate like this.
Everything Mourinho does is unnecessary when he gets like this.
No, exactly. I think there's a case where Mourinho thinks he still runs both clubs and he doesn't like that there's a new person at Chelsea. But I don't want to be the press officer to cut off the conversation, but we've got to go. But I want to thank you for joining us, Tancredi, and we'd love to have you back on the show to get some more of these transfer knowledge and share to the rest of us. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, guys. Arrivederci.
Thanks a lot.